What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I just got out of seeing 28 Years Later. This is the third movie in the franchise, and of course takes place 28 years later from the original film, 28 days later. Now, the story takes place on this island of survivors of the zombie apocalypse, or the infection, if you will. And mainly we're with Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, who's married to Jodie Foster, and they have a son by the name of Spike. And everybody on this island is just trying to live as peaceful and healthy as possible, staying away from the infection. But now the son is at an age where he's got to put the grown folk boots on and be able to go outside the island and hunt just like the rest of the men. So I'm going to leave it there because the trailer just gives you that, but there is a whole lot more that the trailer does not give you. And if I had to compare this movie to tone and what to expect, I would say go into this thinking about A Quiet Place Day One. It's more like that. This film is highly emotional, and it takes liberties in the emotional route in ways that you don't expect. Now, that may be a disappointment to some people, or some people may love it, but I want to lead with that because it wasn't what I was expecting, but thankfully I enjoyed it. So first of all, you definitely get all of the zombie carnage that we've seen in all of these films. They even have some inventive camera work, and I've got to mention that Danny Boyle returned to direct, who is the person that directed the first one, and Alice Garland penned the script. And they used an iPhone to shoot this alongside some lenses. I forgot the specific name, but the fact that they did use iPhones for this entire film does say a lot, even though you're not going to be able to just take an iPhone and do this because, again, they have equipment that the regular SMO does not have. But movie looks great. I love that they used it because I feel like they wanted to get that same type of grittiness and kind of lo-fi look that the first one had, and you definitely get that with the amplified film grain and the image not being crystal clear. That just added a certain texture to the film that I love, and it's a gorgeous movie. There are a whole bunch of wides of people standing in fields with the flowers being bright yellow, bouncing off of the light blue sky, walking over these green hills that just look picturesque. So a totally beautiful film. And the reason I brought that up is because they use the technology to do some really cool things when it comes to the zombies, from changing of perspective, and a thing that they do that's really cool with this kill shots when zombies are shot by arrows or even bullets. I think that that was a very unique and creative piece to add to the film and heighten the enjoyment. And with the zombie carnage comes a ton of tension. Every single time they are outside of the island and on the mainland, as they call it, where the infected roam, it is heart-pumping suspense, especially if you've seen the rest of the movies. You know that these zombies are the ones that run. They're not just going to walk after you. They are going to chase your ass down until death, and they deliver that. And God, the first moment when the father and son leave, they just used the score to really pump up what's going on. And I love the indications that they do where they're splicing in clips from the past of showing people preparing. And I just feel like it's this thing of saying life is a cycle, right? And we always return to what we once knew. And that was a nice bridge of the gap. And that might sound weird just hearing it, but when you see it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought that was a really clever play on the visual aspect. And they even do some cool things with the infected by making them evolve. As some of the posters have said, there are different types out there. Not going to say what they are, but the fact that they exist in this world now, because again, it is 28 years later, so these zombies have been around this period of time. Different things happen and different versions have spawned. And you learn about that with the son, because again, he's green. He has no idea what's going on, but Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is well aware of what's happening. So he is able to tell him like, oh shit, this is going on. We need to move like immediately. And when you see the fear in his face, you get scared because you could tell that the dad is a seasoned vet at doing this. You're right there with the kid like, oh, okay, we might be in some real trouble. Now, as I mentioned, Jodie Foster is in the film as well as Ralph Fiennes, but they don't give us anything in the trailer, so I don't want to spoil their roles in this because I feel like you need to go on the journey to really understand their roles. There are moments where I had to hold back tears because of just what they were doing. And also, this movie is almost like 3 different films in one. Now, that could be a detractor for some folks, but I found it to be very interesting. Again, you have the typical zombie survival part, and then you have another chunk of the film that just goes into highly emotional stuff that has to deal with life and death in ways that I really wasn't expecting to see. And then you have a third part that's just like, what the hell is this? Really, the beginning and the end are the what the hell moments that definitely lend itself to the trilogy of movies that are to come. And with this being a horror movie, those elements are not held back at all. It does get really bloody, really gory, and these zombies are doing some shit that we didn't see them do in any of the other 2 movies that really made my jaw drop. And the last thing I will say about this movie is the performances are all spectacular, especially for the kid actor. I don't know his name, but we are with him most of the time, and we see things through his eyes for the majority, and he was able to be convincing and tug on the heartstrings in a lot of different ways with these situations that he finds himself in. And honestly, I can't wait to watch this movie and add it to my collection. Please give us a steelbook alongside 28 Days and Weeks Later. Please, Sony. So let me know in the comments what you thought if you have seen 28 Years Later. What was your favorite sequence? Mine personally would have to be the reveal of how the zombies first evolved when you see it. And not the first one, but the second one. Again, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free because this movie is a hell of a journey and it's going to take your ass on a ride. No joke. Pause. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.